I'm going to try this. I'm going to play this for you, if I can. Oh, it did work, Patrick. Can we go back?
So you can tell me like what you're doing, because I don't understand any of it. So
I'm just heating up the nail with the blowtorch, so it's like hot enough to vaporize the hash.
And so is that like the dabbing stuff?
Yeah, that's just dabbing.
And that's the THC stuff, right?
Yeah, this is wax.
It's like wax?
Yeah, wax or hash oil or hash.
Where are you guys from?
Colorado.
You are from Colorado?
I know you don't want to.
What one it?
Sorry, huh?
I do. Oh my god.
I don't really cough from it anymore, though. So.
Okay. I think you don't really cough from it, now you're coughing.
I cough maybe once or twice.
See, that's why. Alright. Okay, so I did that part. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that's what I'm seeing on the streets of Colorado. And when I started doing this, I actually had founded Callie's Backyard in 2009. I'm hoping I'm going to the right thing here. My initial focus was on sex trafficking and human trafficking. I couldn't believe, if you think back just to 2009, that Colorado didn't have a sex trafficking task force. And I was hearing about all of these things going on and all these things going on at the colleges and with these young girls. So I actually just gathered up a couple people and said, I had a consultant at the time, which was Tom Kobe, who was chief of police during the John Benet Ramsey story, and he said, oh, you can't do this in my kitchen. And I said, okay, if you tell me I can't do it, then for sure I'm going to do it. So we have saved 500 to 600 kids, victims, in the meantime. So, in 2015 then, I tried to broaden the whole scope of Callie's Backyard because I realized that completely intertwined in all of this was the drugs and the homelessness. And I try to keep my focus at between 18 and 27. It isn't that we wouldn't turn anyone down who's older, and I don't want to deal as much with the younger kids because it's just too much lawyering up, for me. I didn't go to Harvard. So what I noticed on the streets was there were a lot of kids out there that were, as you saw, this kid right here, Kenyon, they were being corralled by law enforcement and fenced in, and then these guys who were building all of the high-rises there in Colorado were paying the parks and recreation departments, it was at 501c3s, and then they were having them use cops as off-duty to videotape these kids, and they're just channeling them into arrests, and it's just perpetuating the whole circle of homelessness and more crime. And these kids, they don't have any money to be paying for their tickets and things like that. So I thought, where are these kids? Where are the resources? Where are the people who should be helping? Well, there are very few in Colorado. There's very few anywhere. I built a drop-in shelter called The Spot in Denver, and it was along with Urban Peak. Well, Urban Peak has 40 beds, 20 are for boys and 20 for girls, but there's 5,000 kids on the streets at night, homeless. So I took on this whole little population. I call them my lost society because I absolutely can't believe how lost they actually are out there. We've all talked about, and you're all here because you know that marijuana is definitely a gateway. I don't even have to go through that and explain it, and I'm going to try to go through my little speech here quickly so y'all don't have to stay too long. But the risk in Colorado is like with these kids that you're seeing on the streets is, what's the risk behavior? I mean, I lived up in Aspen for 25 years, and what's the risk behavior up there? There aren't any dogs at the airport, the private jet services. I just had 2 people arrested, 2 parents, and a 19-year-old son of theirs because they were serving cocaine at the dinner table. I mean, I can't even believe the stories that I could go on to tell you. And then we go back to this population. They're already vulnerable, they already had trauma, things that already happened in their lives, so they are so likely, they say, oh, well, pot didn't kill me or something like that, or it's not killing anyone, but it's the associations, it's the next person, it's the next drug that you're introduced to, and that we know is what really happens with all of these kids. I'm going to show you a little video next of this kid, Brutal. I really love him. but he's going to talk to you about jailhouse gum. Do I have to go back? Can you do it for me, Patrick?
So you can tell me like what you're doing
Next
because
kid.
I don't understand.
It looks like this.
It's called jailhouse gum. Just chew on the plastic till it's all gone and then spit the plastic out.
So tell me what all these candies are.
It's just corn syrup and corn syrup and regular like pancake syrup, and we put canna butter in it that like will boil THC and butter or in coconut oil or in alcohol, and it extracts the THC and marijuana cells from the trim or bud that we have, and then we mix it in. And you can mix marijuana in almost anything.
Where do you get all this? Where do you get all the marijuana?
We learn.
What?
We learn how to get it. We have people that care enough to be like, you know what, I'll help you, here's that. Or we go buy it.
Gotta love it, or we just go buy it. As a result of marijuana, which I still keep calling the gateway drug, a lot of these kids come to Colorado because they think it's free. I mean, when I started doing this, it was only medical marijuana. Then it became recreational marijuana. But it is not free, it is not entertainment, and it is not Disney World. As a result of it, the homeless story in Denver is unbelievable. Just been working with the chief of police there, Paul Pazin, a new chief, which I really like. I liked the two before, but I really like Paul Pazin. So I really want to be behind him at all costs that I can. So we know death, homelessness, lack of employment, unaffordable housing. There isn't any housing in Denver. I can't even afford to live in Denver. It's crazy. The camping, it's a community health issue to me to help these kids and get them off the street. And believe me, I am not saving the world. I am chipping away at a story that all I can do is talk to parents, talk to business owners, talk to people, anyone who can help. And that's why I'm here to talk to you today, was just to give you these few little tidbits of, I was just a mom. I was just a grassroots approach. I literally started a sex trafficking task force in the United States. I mean, it's impossible. I could sell you a great handbag, but I did not know anything about 501c3s. And now, here we are, fast forward. The colleges, I want to talk about that for just a quick minute, because that's where a lot of my story comes in, because you don't really need to know me. You need to know your community, you need to know your neighbors, you need to know your doctors, you need to know lawyers, you need to know law enforcement. I couldn't have done anything without law enforcement. Right or wrong, I couldn't have done anything without them. Because what you do need to know is this was my daughter's student ID, this was her medical marijuana card, and this is her obituary. And she would turn around and said, "Oh, Mom, but if the government says that it's okay for medical marijuana, then it's okay." Well, as we know, it's not okay. So the THC levels in marijuana have increased. When I was in college, which was 1,000,000 years ago, it was 3%. Now it's like 70% in Colorado. Even in Amsterdam, they have a cap on it at 15%. So why can't we do that? Why can't we do some regulations? You need to talk to your legislatures. You need to talk to people. I'm encouraging you here. I hope you'll just encourage everybody in your own community. Let me try to go through this and get through that. So here's a picture of Denver. It doesn't look pretty. I mean, I love Colorado, which is why I've tried to do things for Colorado. But right across the street at Urban Peak, where I put the drop-in center, I mean, it's busting at the seams. I just took this picture like last week. These kids are just piled up with their sleeping bags and tents and this and that, all these kinds of things. They have nowhere to go. It's unbelievable. I'm embarrassed by the fact that we don't have any kind of resources. I don't think Colorado was even thinking in what direction like that. The opioid deaths, as we know, are tremendous. I hear at least once a week of one of the kids that I've been helping, has died. We've had a lot of arrests and a lot of other things. A lot of good things have come of it. At one of the places where I do my sandwiches, one of the kids, and I just pass the information on, but it's like this guy who comes to deal meth every day. Okay, it's not that he comes every day to deal meth, but he comes every day in a different car. So that information goes to law enforcement, and they're the ones who take over from there. And I want to go back to one thing that the colleges, at the time when my daughter passed away, one of my homicide detectives, Mark Kreider, says, oh yeah, 14 kids died between January and February that year at CU. CU is not talking. None of these colleges are talking because they're big business. They don't have to. They have 28 lawyers that are for their compliance laws, and they are compliant. And they have 28 more lawyers that are just for regular stuff. But the compliance law is that they don't have to report a death to the public. The only way that they have to report a death to the public is if there are 3 words involved, and those 3 words are criminal charges involved. And you and I know that these parents come to Denver, Colorado, they pick up their kids in a body bag, and all they want to do is go home and grieve. You can ask Eric Bowling. Colorado, I don't know why, we just shine out as like the most used of everything. So fast forward, also, when I did the sandwich van, this was just a little project. I went out and bought a van because everybody said I couldn't do that either. And I started with Michelle Livingston. If it wasn't for Michelle, I really couldn't have got this done. But Michelle helped me out. And we started handing out sandwiches. You get a sandwich, chip, apple juice. Wouldn't your mom give you an apple juice? And it really makes a connection for us to talk to these kids and find out what's going on with them, how we can help them in some way, shape, or form. We hand out to them a card, which is a resource card, and now a lot of the Denver precincts for the Denver Police Department are handing them out. And it's a very vetted card because this population already has enough disappointments. And so we put in there the time, place, day, and everything where you could get some help, our Colorado ID. We help out kids. And if anybody wants any, I have a donor who will print them up for you anywhere in the United States and help you out with that cost. We help out kids with services for their pets. That's, big thing on the streets because what if someone gets bit? And so I will take them to, this is a young girl I've been trying to help, to the vet, or we will help them get services or free pet services, wherever we can. This is my partnership with the Denver Police and the FBI because when I started the task force, I literally called the FBI and said they gave me 3 cop cars, 3 telecommunication things, 3 officers. It was pretty amazing because I was some crazy, I did look better than some crazy old blonde hanging around. These 2 guys here, Captain Bill Nagel and Aaron Sanchez, I couldn't have done it without them. Aaron Sanchez has District 6 downtown Denver, and he must be out of his mind. The crime right now, we were just talking the other day, is huge. The violence is worse than it's ever been. Homicides, he can't even keep up with it. Shanna Michaels in the middle there, she's with the FBI and Denver Police Department. We go out every Friday to these motels, and we knock door to door. I've made friends with all the Korean motel owners that are out there, and they let us know which kids are in which rooms because nobody wants to have a license plate, so there's not cars out there. These are some kids we found in one of the rooms one day. And then I'm not law enforcement, so I don't do anything about it. It's literally Food Connects, but Shanna, that's up to her. I just take the pictures, and however she wants to handle the situation, she will hand me a lot of pictures for runaways and things like that in Denver. I mean, it's really kind of crazy, but I love her. Let's see, what else do we have on there? We have a lot of success stories, and I won't get into those, but they're pretty great. And I have donors who will give packages of rehab, so I'll go to court for these kids, and then that will give the judge an alternative. I mean, it's really quite amazing what community can give to you if you just start doing something, but doing something organized. What's next for us is we're just going to continue to do the work that I do. I love working with Shanna, and we're going to continue to take care of kids and try to help any of you out there that want some help or want to work on some sort of a little model project. And I took an action, so I hope you can, and what I hope is that you will tell people that they can. And then I'm going to leave you with just this quick little thing, and then I'm out the door. I feel like I am just a mom, and I took an action. In Callie's backyard, we think that we're a little solution, even though we're just a tiny little pipsqueak organization. So this is where all the food trucks come and get their food, and when I'm doing this, I mean, actually, I'm on the run.
We get 1, 2, 3, 4.
And we try to use the romaine because it has a little bit of nutrient in it. Callie she's the perfect addict. Studying and graduating and getting straight A's was so important to Callie, and it was a gateway story for her in her mind to use drugs. And she did graduate from CU, straight A's, but she died the day before her ceremony. And I was going by her apartment taking, chicken noodle soup from Whole Foods. I thought I was helping. If one mom in every city got a sandwich van and started making sandwiches, it certainly would be a huge effort. And it's a simple task. Doesn't cost a lot of money. It's great because food connects. It's amazing what a simple sandwich and an apple juice and a bag of chips will get you. 18 to 27 is my focus. These are the kids that no one wants to talk about. These are the kids that no one wants to help.
I really understand very much.
Unbelievably heartbreaking. I never cry until after I leave.